we'll be starting with the quick revision of deductions from gross total income. Section 80C to 80U. Deductions are allowed under section 80C to 80U. And what section 80A provides is that the amount of deduction cannot exceed what? Cannot exceed the GTI. Here, the amount of deduction, the same cannot exceed what? The gross total income. That has been provided in section 80A. Now, we are provided deductions, say deduction in respect of payments. We are having deduction in respect of payments. That is from section 80C to 80GGC. And we are having deduction in respect of income. That is 80IA to 80 RRB, and we are having other income 80 TTA, TTB, and 80U is basically other deductions. That is 80C to 80U deductions are allowed under chapter 6A. This has been covered in chapter 6A. You have to remember that when the incomes are chargeable to special rate of tax, when the incomes are taxable at special rate of tax, such as long-term capital gains under section 112, or say under section 112A, or say it is short-term capital gains under section 111A, or it is winnings from lottery, here the no deduction under chapter 6A is admissible in such a case. No deduction under chapter 6A is admissible in such a case. Then deductions in respect of income, that is 80 IA to 80 RRB, the same will not be admissible. Not admissible unless claimed in return of income. Unless they have been claimed in return of income, the said deductions will not be admissible. And in case if you are claiming deduction under section 80 IA to 80 RRB, then in respect of specified business 35 AD will not be admissible. If you are claiming 35 AD, then you won't be entitled deduction under 80 IA and 80 RRB. And basically, if you do not furnish, here we have to furnish a return of income. A return of income is to be furnished on or before due date under section 139(1). You have to furnish the return of income on or before the due date under 139(1). Then only you will be entitled to claim deduction under section 80 IA to 80 RRB. If your return has been belated, you won't be entitled to claim deduction under 80 IA to 80 RRB. That is in respect of incomes. So fundamentally, the amount of deduction, it cannot exceed the gross total income. And if deductions are not admissible in respect of winnings from lotteries, crossword puzzles, long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains under section 111A, which are basically chargeable to special rate of tax. And 80 IA to 80 RRB will not be admissible unless you do not claim the same in return of income, and you have to furnish the return of income on or before the due date. Then only you will be entitled deduction under those sections. Now, as we have discussed, there are deductions in respect of payments. There is deduction in respect of incomes. There are deduction in respect of other income, and there are what? Other deductions. We have 80C. In case if you make payment to LIC premium, PPF, etc., so you will be entitled deduction under 80C. 80CCC is deduction in respect of contributions to pension fund. NPS contribution, it is 80CCD. Mediclaim insurance, it is 80D. Then if you are incurred any expenditure on medical treatment of dependent disabled, or say we are maintaining him, then in that particular circumstance, 80DD deduction is admissible. 80DDB is deduction in respect of medical treatment of specified diseases. 80E, that is interest on loan taken for higher education and of the assessee himself or his relative. And in case of 80EEA, that is interest on housing loans, if you have taken any loan for acquisition of the house property, you are entitled deduction under 80EEA. 80EEB is interest on loans for purchase of electric vehicle, that is admissible. 80G is donations to certain funds, charitable institutions, etc. Double G is rent paid. Then GGA is donations for scientific research, development, etc. for those assessees who are not having income under the head PGBP. Then we are having 80 GGB, that is contributions to Indian company gives contributions to political parties, and 80 GGC is contribution given by other persons to political parties or electoral trusts. So these deductions are in respect of payments. What payment we are making, we are what entitled deduction under these sections. That is 80C to 80 GGC. Then 80 IA to 80 RRB is deduction in respect of incomes. That is 80 IA to 80 RRB. Now these are deductions which are admissible. 80 IA, that is undertakings engaged in infrastructure development or undertakings which are engaged in development of SEZ, that is 80 IAB. Then we are having 80 IAC, that is eligible startups. 80 IB, that is basically industrial undertakings other than infrastructure development undertakings. For housing projects, it is 80 IBA. Then IC, that is for the undertakings which are established in notified zones of Himachal Pradesh and Uttaranchal. 80 IE, those who are engaged in northeastern states, eligible business, or they are engaged in manufacture or production of eligible articles. 80 JJA is business of collecting and processing of biodegradable waste. So basically whatever profits are derived, deduction is admissible here. Then employment of new employees, offshore banking units in 80LA is basically deduction in respect of offshore banking units and units in International Financial Service Center. 80M is intercorporate dividends. 80B is cooperative society. Producer companies are entitled deduction under 80PA. QQB is royalty income of authors, and RRB is royalty income of patents. Then we are having 80 TTA, that is deduction in respect of interest on saving bank deposits, and in respect of deposits in case of senior citizens. 80 TTB is admissible. 80U is what? Person suffering with disability. So basically these are the deductions which are admissible from the gross total income, and fundamentally the amount of deduction cannot exceed the GTI. If your GTI is say 10 lakh 50,000 rupees, the deduction under section 80C to 80U cannot exceed rupees 10 lakh and 50,000. Now first of all, we will be starting with deduction in respect of payments. We are now, you have to remember who is a eligible assessee and what is the maximum amount of deduction. So here 80C is what? Contribution to certain say PPF, LIC premium, etc. Who is the eligible assessee? Here eligible assessee is an individual or HUF. Here eligible assessee is an individual or HUF. And the amount reduction is the sum paid or deposited subject to maximum of rupees 1,50,000. Amount reduction is sum paid or deposited subject to maximum of rupees what? 1,50,000. So we are having eligible investments, that is what if you pay LIC premium. Now in case if a policy is taken on or after 1/4/2012, if policy is taken on or after 1/4/2012, in that particular circumstance, you know, the amount of deduction that will be admissible will be what? 10% of capital sum assured. 10% of capital sum assured, that will only what? Qualify for deduction. And if it is on, in case of on 1/4/2013, in case of say the person who is suffering with the disability under 80U, or it is a, say suffering from specified disease under section 80 DDB, that is the person, and we are paying health, we are paying the life insurance policy premium on or after policy has been taken on or after 1/4/2013, then it is what? 15% of the capital sum assured will be eligible. Otherwise, it is what if the policy has been taken before 1/4/2012, then 20% of capital sum assured will be eligible for deduction. That you must remember, 10%, 15%, and prior to 1/4/2012, it is what 20% of the capital sum assured. If you contribute to any public provident fund, statutory provident fund, recognized provident fund, approved superannuation fund, national savings scheme, that will be what eligible for deduction. Then we are having, say, deferred annuity plans of the government, then tuition fees for two children, that is full-time education. It is full-time education for any two children of the individual in India. Then we are having repayment of housing loan. That is what if you have taken loan for construction, for acquisition or construction of house, then in that particular circumstance, the repayment of housing loan will be what eligible as deduction. Okay. Then we are having 5-year time deposits of nationalized banks. Okay. We are having Sukanya Samriddhi account, subscriptions to housing finance companies or housing boards, senior citizen savings scheme, NPS Tier 2 construction, post office deposit schemes, 5-year time deposits of post office, 5-year time deposits of nationalized banks. So these are what certain payments. If you make payments to these, for these, you will be what eligible for deduction under section 80C. Eligible amount is what the amount so paid or deposited or rupees 1,50,000, whichever is less. That is 80C. Then we are having section 80CCC. Section 80CCC is what contribution to certain pension funds. Who is the eligible assessee? Eligible assessee is an individual. Eligible assessee is an individual. What is the amount of deduction? The amount deposited, paid or deposited, or rupees 1,50,000, which is less. Amount paid or deposited, or rupees 1,50,000, which is less. And in case if any pension is received, say pension is received on surrender of, or any amount is received on surrender of annuity plan of LIC or say any other approved insurer, the amount so received will be what taxable. And if you are claiming deduction under 80CCC, then for the same amount you won't be eligible for deduction under 80C. That has been provided. So 80CCC is contribution to certain pension funds. 80CCC is what? Contribution to certain pension funds. Eligible assessee is whom? An individual. Eligible assessee is an individual. Okay. Amount deduction is amount deposited or paid or rupees what? 1,50,000, whichever is less. In case if any amount is received as say on surrender of that annuity plan, or if any pension has been received, then the amount so received will be what? Taxable. Okay. Then we are having 80CCD. 80CCD is very, very important. That is contribution to pension scheme of central government. Eligible assessee here is an individual. He can be a salaried employee or he can be an other individual. In case he is a salaried employee, here employer's contribution is eligible or employee's contribution is eligible. So employer's contribution, basically the same is eligible for deduction under section 80CCD subsection 2. Employee contribution is eligible for deduction under 80CCD subsection 1. Other individual is also is eligible 80CCD subsection 1. Whatever is the amount so contributed or 10% of salary, which is less. Here salary means what? Basic salary plus DNS allowance, always included. It is basic salary plus DNS allowance, always included. So it's employer contribution or 10% of salary, say whichever is less. Employee contribution or 10% of salary, whichever is less. Other individual, it is the amount contributed or 20% of GTI, amount contributed or 20% of GTI, whichever say less. Now besides this, additional deduction under section 80 CCD subsection 1B will be allowed of rupees 150,000 rupees. So basically what we are having, they are saying 80C plus 80 CCC plus 80 CCD subsection 1, it is 1,50,000. Further you can claim under 80 CCD subsection 1B 50,000. So their total deduction admissible will be what? Rupees 2 lakhs. Total deduction is rupees 2 lakhs. So beside this, in case 1012A provides what? 1012A provides that if any payment is made from NPS trust, if any payment is made to NPS trust, from the NPS trust to the assessee on closure or opting out of pension scheme, on closure or opting out of pension scheme, the same will be exempt. The same will be exempt up to what? 60% of the total amount payable. The same will be exempt up to 60% of the total amount payable. Then in case if payment is made from NPS trust to an employee on partial withdrawal, payment is made from NPS trust to an employee on partial withdrawal, the exemption will be up to what? 25% of the total amount payable. Exemption will be up to 25% of the total amount payable. Then we come to what? In case of the death of the assessee, if any amount is received on closure or opting out of pension scheme, the same will not be taxable in the hands of the nominee. So 80 CCD is very important. In case the employer contributes, what happens is, first of all, it is included for the determination of the gross salary, and then deduction is allowed to the employee under 80 CCD subsection 2. That doesn't come within the limit of rupees 2 lakh. So C, CCC, CCD subsection 1, 1,50,000, 80 CCD subsection 1B, 50,000 additional, 2 lakh rupees say, basically the same is eligible. Here NPS, here basically NPS tier 1 contribution is eligible. Remember, it is NPS tier 1 account. NPS tier 1 account is eligible. Okay, that has been provided here. Then we are having section 80D. 80D is deduction in respect of health insurance premium. 80D is deduction in respect of health insurance premium. He can be an individual, eligible assessee. He can be an individual or a Hindu undivided family. They may be resident or they may be what? Even non-resident. Now here, health insurance premium has been paid. Health insurance premium is paid for family, that is self, spouse, and dependent children or parents. Health insurance premium has been paid for self, spouse, and dependent children or parents. Now, what is the basically amount of deduction? The premium so paid or rupees 25,000, which are less. The premium so paid or rupees 25,000, which are less. And in case where the insured is a senior citizen, who is a senior citizen? Resident individual. Resident individual who has attained the age of 60 years or more is a senior citizen. Where the insured is a senior citizen, the maximum limit will be rupees what? 50,000. Beside this, we can incur an expenditure on preventive health checkup. Here, the health insurance premium must be paid. Health insurance premium must be paid by any mode. By any mode other than cash. Other than cash. Whereas preventive health checkup, we can say incur expenditure in cash also on preventive health checkup, that is 5,000 rupees. The amount reduction will be in that case 5,000 rupees. That is preventive health checkup. In case of parents also, the health insurance premium so paid. The health insurance premium so paid or rupees 25,000, which is less, and 50,000 in case of senior citizen. For them also, preventive health checkup is there up to rupees 5,000, but the total amount of deduction on account of preventive health checkup the total amount of deduction on account of preventive health checkup for family, that is self, spouse and dependent children and parents, cannot exceed what? 5,000. So say if he has himself, for himself he has paid preventive health checkup of say 3,800 rupees, for father he has paid for 4,200 rupees. In aggregate, though they are exceeding, it is what 8,000, but maximum limit will be what for all, both of them taken together, 5,000. This is within the overall limits of what 25,000 or 50,000 rupees. Then in normal circumstances, when we go for senior citizen, they are what basically they are not getting insured. Why they are not getting insured by the insurance companies? Because of the age. Therefore, in that particular circumstance, if no insurance premium has been paid, in respect of senior citizen, then medical expenditures so incurred will be eligible. Medical expenditure in case if no of senior citizen, if no health insurance premium has been paid within the overall limit of rupees 50,000, the same will be eligible. In case if the health insurance premium has been paid in lump sum, so we have paid health insurance premium of 1 lakh rupees and the same has been paid for 3 years. So proportionately deduction will be admissible, that is 33,333 rupees, then subject to a limit of rupees what? 25,000. So health insurance premium paid in lump sum is to be allowed in the previous year, in the number of the previous years for which the premium has been so paid. Then it has also been provided that in case of HUF also, HUF is also eligible for deduction, that is the premium so paid on health of the member of the family or rupees what 25,000, whichever is less. And in case of a senior citizen, instead of 25,000, the deduction eligibility will be what? Rupees 50,000. In case of senior citizen, the deduction eligibility will be rupees what? 50,000. So this is about what 80D, which we have discussed, is a very, very important chapter, very, very important section. You must remember the same. Here also, if expenditure has been, if health insurance premium has not been paid, if medical expenditure has been incurred in respect of senior citizen, then the deduction will be rupees 50,000. Within the overall limit of rupees 50,000, deduction will be what? Admissible. Then we are having next section is 80DD. 80DD is deduction in respect of maintenance of dependent disabled. 80DD is deduction in respect of maintenance of dependent disabled. Eligible assessee here is resident individual and HUF. Now here a fixed sum will be allowed as deduction, that is 75,000. And in case of severe disability, a fixed sum of rupees 1,25,000 will be eligible. A fixed sum of rupees 1,25,000 will be eligible. Now here is 75,000 and a fixed sum of rupees 1,25,000 will be eligible for individual who can be dependent on him, that is spouse, children, or it can be what? Parents, brothers and sisters. Wholly or mainly they are dependent on that individual and they are themselves not claiming any deduction under 80U. They are themselves not claiming any deduction under 80U. And in case of HUF, it can be any member of family. Any member of family. Basically, you must remember the fact that we have to take an insurance policy also. We can take an insurance policy also for this dependent disabled. And in case if the it is basically after the death of the concerned person, that is the assessee or any other person in respect of whom the policy has been taken, who will look after the dependent disabled, for that basically policy has been taken. But in case if the dependent disabled predeceases the person who has paid the policy, basically the amount so received will be what? Chargeable to tax. In case the dependent disabled predeceases. So here you must remember eligible assessee here is a resident individual or a resident Hindu undivided family and a fixed sum of rupees 75,000 or rupees 1,25,000 will be eligible for deduction. Then we are having 80 DDB. 80 DDB is deduction in respect of medical treatment, of say specified diseases. Here it's a medical treatment of specified diseases. Eligible assessee is a resident individual or a Hindu undivided family. Eligible assessee is a resident individual or a Hindu undivided family. What is the amount reduction? The amounts expended or rupees 40,000, which is less. Amounts expended or rupees 40,000, which is less. And in case of senior citizen, it is rupees what? 60,000. Amount suspended or rupees 60,000, which is less. And here, if any reimbursement is received from insurance company, then the amount of deduction will be reduced from the amount of the insurance compensation so received. If reimbursement is being so received from insurance company. Then we are having section 80E. 80E is deduction in respect of interest on loan taken for higher education. 80E is interest on loan taken for higher education. Eligible assessee as individual is taken loan for himself, spouse, children of the individual, or the student for whom he is a legal guardian. He is a legal guardian. And here we are loan has been taken and amount reduction is 100% of the amount of interest on such loan. The loan has been taken from the approved financial institutions. The loan has been basically taken from the approved financial institutions, approved charitable institutions. Loan has been taken. And period of deduction will be period beginning with the year when we start repaying the interest. Period starting from the date of, from the year of what? Payment of interest, or 8 years, whichever is earlier, okay, that has been provided. Then we are having section 80EEA. 80EEA is deduction in respect of interest on loan taken for, say, acquisition of the house property. Deduction in respect of what? Interest on loan taken for acquisition of the house property. Eligible assessee here is an individual. And he must not have claimed deduction under section 80EE. Basically, the loan has been taken here. Loan has been taken from any financial institution. The loan has been taken from financial institution. Loan is taken from financial institution or housing finance companies. It has been taken from housing finance companies or financial institutions, and the same has been taken for the purpose of acquisition of residential house property. Now here the sanction of the loan must have taken place from 1/4/2019. The sanction of the loan has been taken from 1/4/2019 to 31/3/2021. The sanction has been taken. And the stamp duty value condition is that stamp duty value does not exceed rupees 45 lakhs. The house property's stamp duty value, the same must not exceed 45 lakhs. And the assessee does not own any residential house on the date of sanction of the loan. So amount reduction will be whatever interest has been paid or rupees 1,50,000, which is less. Amount reduction will be interest so paid or rupees 1,50,000, which is less, and no double deduction will be admissible. So it is basically interest or rupees 1,50,000, which is less, will be eligible for deduction. Then we are having section 80EEB. Section 80EEB is what? Deduction in respect of interest on loan from banks or NBFCs. The same has been taken for purchase of what? Electric vehicle. So basically the government is promoting use of electric vehicle. Therefore, in case if loan has been taken from banks or say NBFCs for purchase of electric vehicles, deduction is allowed to eligible assessee here is an individual. And basically what we have taken is a loan. That is, loan has been taken from financial institution, that is a banking company, or deposit taking NBFC, or systematically important non-deposit taking NBFCs. Eligible assessee individual is there. Loan has been taken for purchase of electric vehicle. Amount reduction is interest or rupees 1,50,000 which is less. Amount reduction is interest on loan which has been so paid, or rupees 1,50,000 which is less. Period of sanction of loan is what? From 1/4/2019. Period of sanction of loan is from 1/4/2019 to 31/3/23. Period of sanction of loan is 1/4/2019 to 31/3/23. That is also very important section. Now 80G, this is very, very important. That is donation to certain funds, charitable institutions, etc. Eligible assessee, here all assessees are eligible. Now basically certain funds are there where maximum limit is not applicable. Certain funds are there where maximum limit is not applicable. Whatever amount is donated qualify for deduction. Whatever amount is donated qualify for deduction. The amount of deduction will be 100% or 50% depending upon the type of the fund. So this is category 1 and category 2 where maximum limit is not applicable. Whatever amount is donated qualifies for deduction, and the amount of deduction will be what? 100% or 50% depending upon what? The type of the fund. So for example, if you are donating to Prime Minister's National Relief Fund, PM Cares Fund, National Defence Fund, National Children Fund, National Relief Fund. So these are certain main funds which we are discussing here. That is National Defence Fund, Prime Minister's National Relief Fund, PM Cares Fund, National Children Fund. So here National Blood say Transfusion Council, or it is for Clean Ganga Fund is there, or say Swachh Bharat Kosh, Clean Ganga Fund. These are the funds where no limit is applicable. If you donate rupees 1 lakh, 1 lakh will qualify for deduction and amount of deduction will be 100%. If you donate rupees 50,000, 50,000 will qualify for deduction and amount of deduction will be what? 50,000. Then 13 funds are there. Basically here maximum limit is not applicable. The amount of deduction will be what? 50% of the amount so donated without any qualifying limit. That is Prime Minister's Drought Relief Fund, Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fund, Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust and Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Prime Minister's Drought Relief Fund, Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fund, Indira Gandhi Memorial Trust and Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Then there are certain funds here, 100% deduction is admissible but subject to qualifying limit. That is two funds are there, that is Family Planning Fund and Olympic Association. And Olympic Association is there. That is in case of company assessee. That is in case of company assessee. Then 50% deduction is there of the amount donated subject to qualifying limit. Here in this case it is a government or say local authority which has been approved for to be used for charitable purposes. We are having other than for promotion of family planning, notified temple, church, gurudwara, mosque, etc. Okay, so that is 50% deduction is there. In category 3 and category 4, what is the adjusted GTI? What is the maximum limit? Maximum limit is here. Maximum limit is that is 10% of adjusted GTI. It is 10% of adjusted GTI. Now what basically adjusted GTI is? Adjusted GTI is the gross total income. Adjusted GTI is the gross total income reduced by the deductions under chapter 6A other than 80G. All deductions 80C to 80U other than 80G that will be deducted. Whatever special rate taxation income are there, there is short term capital gains, long term capital gains, winnings from lottery, special rate taxations incomes will be reduced. Then we will be calculating 10% of the adjusted GTI. Then we will be calculating the actual amount of donation which is subject to this qualifying limit. They say it is a lower of this 10% of adjusted GTI or actual amount of donation which is the maximum permissible deduction, and the deduction is subject to the adjusted first against the donations qualifying for 100% deductions and then balance for 50%. So here if your adjusted GTI is say 5 lakh rupees, 10% of adjusted GTI works out to be 50,000 rupees. You have donated 30,000 to the family planning fund and 30,000 to say 80G5 charitable institution. 80G5 charitable institution. These are the funds which are subject to the limit. Now as you are aware here 100% deduction is admissible in family planning and 50% deduction is available in 80 charitable G5 charitable institutions. So first of all, we'll be appropriating out, that is the maximum limit is 50,000 rupees. We'll be appropriating 30,000 first, and we get the deduction of 30,000. Remaining 20,000 is there for 80 G5 charitable institution, where 50% deduction will be 10,000. Therefore, the amount deduction will be what? 40,000 in this particular case. So first of all, we always adjust towards the family planning and Olympic Association, because their 100% deduction is admissible. Both of the funds are there in qualifying limit. So these two funds you must remember: Olympic Association and Family Planning Fund, where 100% deduction is say admissible of the qualifying amount. And in case of 80 G5 charitable institutions, 50% deduction is admissible, subject to the qualifying ceiling limit. Donations in kind do not qualify for deduction. Donation in kind, they do not qualify for deduction. And cash donations in excess of rupees 2,000, cash donations in excess of rupees 2,000 will not qualify for deduction. Cash donations in excess of rupees 2,000, the same will not qualify for deduction. Then we are having section 80 GG. 80 GG is deduction in respect of rent paid. 80 GG is what? Deduction in respect of rent paid. Here eligible assessee is individual who is not in receipt of HRA. Eligible assessee is individual not in receipt of HRA, and basically no deduction will be admissible if the residential accommodation is owned by the assessee or his spouse or minor child or HUF at the place where he is ordinarily carrying on business. So no deduction will be admissible if residential accommodation is owned by a spouse or minor child or HUF or he himself, in case he is a member of HUF at the place where he ordinarily resides or where he performs his duties. And he must not own any house property where he is getting the benefit of self-occupation. He must not own any house property from where he is getting the benefit of self-occupation. Amount of deduction will be what? Lower of rent paid minus 10% of adjusted GTI, rent paid minus 10% of adjusted GTI, 25% of the adjusted GTI, or rupees 5,000. Rent paid minus 10% of adjusted GTI, 25% of the adjusted GTI, or rupees what? 5,000. Then what adjusted GTI means? Adjusted GTI means what? Total income. That is the total income before allowing deduction under this section. Before allowing deduction under this section. That is the adjusted total income. Then what 80 GGA is? 80 GGA is deduction in respect of donations for scientific research or rural development. Eligible assessees, all assessees not having income under the head PGBP. Eligible assessees, all assessee not having income under the head, say PGBP. Cash donations exceeding 2,000 will not be eligible. Payments are made to research association, university, college or institution approved under section 35(1)(2) or 35(1)(3) or National Rural Development Fund, National Urban Poverty Eradication Fund. Amount deduction is 100% of the sum so paid. So fundamentally deduction under section 80 GGA is in respect of donations for scientific research, rural development, etc. Eligible assessees, all assessees, though those are not having income under the head profits and gains of business and profession. Basically, cash donations exceeding rupees 2,000, the same will not qualify for deduction. Make payment to research association, universities, colleges, institutions which have been either approved under 35(1)(2) or 35(1)(3) for social science or statistical research or scientific research, or payment is made to National Rural Development Fund or National Urban Poverty Eradication Fund. Amount deduction will be what? 100% of the sum so paid. The same will be eligible for deduction. Then we are having deduction in respect of contributions to political parties or electoral trust. Eligible assessee under section 80 GGC is an Indian company. Eligible assessee is an Indian company. And amount deduction is 100% of the amount so contributed. Cash contributions are not eligible. 80 GGB, it is eligible assessee is any person. It is any person other than local authority and artificial juridical person wholly or partly funded by the government. Amount of deduction is what? 100% of the amount so contributed. The same will be what? Eligible for deduction. So these are the deductions which we have discussed from 80C to 80 GGC. That is deductions in respect of payments. These are the deductions which we have discussed. These are deductions in respect of payments which we have discussed. Our next topic will be what? Deduction in respect of incomes.